The Utah Jazz, yes, I repeat, the Utah Jazz have won 5 consecutive games, have won 8 of their last 9, and 11 of their last 13 since making a lineup change, and are 9th in the West with a winning record. And these aren't, winning against cupcakes. They've beat some of the best teams in the league. Bucks, Sixers, Nuggets, Pistons, 21-20 overall. Will Hardy has done a heck of a job as a young coach here in Utah, and ever since he made the starting lineup change, bringing in Colin Sexton, Chris Dunn, and Fontecchio to the starting lineup, they are 11-2, and they are 11-0 when Talen Horton-Tucker does not play over their last 13 games, which I don't know if that's all Talen Horton-Tucker's fault, but that's kind of crazy to think about. They are 17th in offensive rating, 21st in defensive rating, 23rd in net. So they're not exactly blowing anybody out of the water in any categories. But this starting lineup right here, Will Hardy has found something that clicks. And they play really, really well together. Lauri Markkanen is proving he is a franchise guy. Franchise player. He's still only 26 years old and is looking like a really, really, really good forward for the next 5, 6, 7 years. 24 points per game, 9 rebounds, 2 assists per game this year for the Finnish super soldier. He's shooting at 49% from the field, 40% from 3 on 8 attempts. Another one of these unicorns that's almost 50, 40, 90 at 7 foot tall. It's crazy. Over his last 13 games, where the Jazz are on this really good streak, he's averaging 24.4 points per game, 9.2 rebounds, on 52% shooting from the field, 42% from 3. So he's been playing really well these last few games. The 7-foot sniper is playing probably the best basketball of his career right now because he's playing winning basketball while leading a team, which is something he has not done yet in his young career, although he's played 7 seasons, so he's a pretty good vet at this point. Now, Chris Dunn is redeeming himself. Was once the number 5 overall pick in the draft, spent 1 year in Minnesota before he was shipped off to Chicago, and then bounced around the league, was almost out of the league. He only played 4 games in 2020, and now he is back. He has been resurrected as a starting point guard in Utah. 11-2 in 13. He's started the last 13 games. He started 15 overall. There's his stats on the year. But in the last 13 games as a starter, he is 11-2. Look at his stats over the last 13 games. 5.2 points, 6.1 assists, 1.5 steals, 1 block. So he's a really good slashing defensive point guard with eyes in the back of his head, essentially, is what Chris Dunn comes down to these days. Now, they do have a couple of other veterans that are starting to redefine themselves. John Collins coming to Utah, and he's starting his career over. Well, not starting his career over, but he's playing really efficient basketball, only averaging 13.5 and 8 rebounds, but he's shooting at 50% from the field, and the highest he's ever shot it from 3, 39% on 4 attempts in 28 minutes a game. His per 36 numbers are even better, and the best part about this is he is still young. He's still only 26, so he can be a building block for this Jazz team for the next 5 years at least. He is a solid guy to have in there. Now, Colin Sexton is still 25, which is kind of crazy to think about, but he wasn't drafted that long ago. He's averaging 16.5 points per game, 3.9 rebounds, and 2.6 assists per game in efficiency-wise, what is probably one of his career years. 48% from the field, 36% from 3 on 3 attempts, and he's only playing 24 minutes a game. He's averaging 25 per 36, which is actually what we're about to look at. Kind of spoiled that. Sorry, but Colin Sexton's playing some really good basketball right now. 25, 6, 4, and 1 over his for his per 36 numbers. That is really good. That is beyond starter level good. If you're enjoying this video so far, make sure to like button and leave me a comment down below, as well as hitting the subscribe button, as it'll really help us out in the YouTube algorithm. It'll be greatly appreciated. Also, sticking around helps us out as well. But yeah, hit that like button. We'll go for like 100 likes on today's video. That'd be fantastic. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get back to the video here. Looking at the Jazz, who have a really underrated young core, in my opinion, with Walker Kessler, Ochai Agbaji, and the rookies, Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, the number 9 overall pick, and they have a 35-year-old head coach. Now, Walker Kessler is another good young big that they have. He's only 22 years old, obviously acquired in the Rudy Gobert trade. His stats are down a little bit, as we're about to see. Only 8.8 points per game this year, 7.6 rebounds. 2.5 blocks is pretty elite in 24 minutes a game. That's pretty crazy, honestly. And he's shooting at 65% from the field, but that's mainly dunks. So overall, solid year 2 for Walker Kessler. Ochai Agbaji, a guy that really reminds me of OG Anunoby on a little bit, although he can shoot better. 6.1 points per game for him, 2.6 rebounds, 44% from the field, 33% from 3. Numbers are up across the board from last year. He's playing 20 minutes a game, and he's got great defensive tools. Maybe not all the way there yet, but I think he's going to be really good on the defensive end one day. And by the way, he can shoot the 3. Only 33% this year, but he will be better in the future, I guarantee it. Keontae George, 11.5 points, 4.5 assists, 3 rebounds. The best rookie so far for the Jazz, although he's only shooting at 37% from the field, 32% from 3-on-4 attempts, and 25 minutes a game. So Keontae George, definitely work to do, but like I said, he's been the best rookie so far for this Jazz team, despite the fact that he was the 16th overall pick and Taylor Hendricks was the 9th overall pick. Hendricks really hadn't gotten that much PT yet, so I will give the crown to Keontae George, especially since Bryce Sensabaugh hadn't played hardly at all. Now, taking a look at the vets on this team, Kelly Olynyk, he's playing really good. He's one of the most underrated bigs in the NBA, in my opinion. People just don't talk about him enough. And then they got a 28-year-old rookie, Simeon Fontecchio, or Simeon, something like that. He's averaging about 18 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, 5.3 assists, or Jordan Clarkson is, sorry, not Fontecchio. While he's only shooting at 41% from the field, 32% from 3-on-6 attempts in 30 minutes a night. So Jordan Clarkson definitely getting the shots up. He just hasn't been necessarily efficient. However, they are winning games. Kelly Olynyk, one word for you, balling. Taking a look at his stats, they might not blow you away. Only about 9 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 53% from the field, 44% from 3. He's a guy right now that is just a winning player. Per 36, he's averaging 14, 9, 8, and 1.5 steals per game. Kind of like a miniature Jokic, a bench version of Jokic, if you will, without all the scoring. And then Fontecchio, the 28-year-old rookie, who's averaging 8.8 points per game as well, 3.2 rebounds on 45% shooting from the field, 39% from 3-on-5 attempts. That's pretty solid right there. And then 23 minutes a game for him. Taking a look at the outlook for the Jazz, this will probably be the last thing we do. They are currently 9th in the Western Conference, half a game behind the Phoenix Suns. And then looking at their upcoming schedule, they got Indiana, Golden State, Oklahoma City, Houston, New Orleans, and Washington. So it'll be an interesting upcoming schedule because the Warriors are right behind them. Thunder obviously up at the 2 spot. The Rockets are right there with them. The Pelicans are they're in the 6th spot, but still very competitive Western Conference. Can't wait to see what the future holds for the Jazz. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy today's video at any point. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.